Your Honor, the state calls Blake Wolfe. Recall.
I have to remind you that you're still under arrest.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Master Deputy Wolfe, you're still under oath.
Yes, sir.
So, did you become involved in the harassment investigation regarding all those photos?
Yes, sir, I did.
How did you get involved in that?
During the murder of Christina Parcell, I obtained a search warrant for Zachary Hughes's Gmail account, which would include his emails. After I received his emails, I became involved in that investigation.
Now, how did you locate his Zachary Hughes's email?
When we did the search warrant at 200 Tyndall Avenue, we seized his cell phone. A cell phone extraction was done on that device, and we were able to determine what email address he used on his cell phone.
And then once you obtained that email address, what did you do?
I then obtained a search warrant for the email address. Since I knew that Mr. Hughes had been in communication with John Melo, John Melo's overseas, they obviously have to communicate through electronic means.
And in those emails, were there also email addresses for John Melo as well?
Yes, sir.
And did you obtain a search warrant for John Melo's email?
Yes, sir, I did.
Do you recall the email address that you sent the search warrant off to Google?
For John, or
For Zachary Hughes.
it's zachary.david.hughes@gmail.com.
And what about Melo?
John at milestonemusic@gmail.com.
And did Gmail or Google return emails to you as a result of that search warrant?
Yes, sir, they did.
And were you able to review those emails?
Yes, sir, I was.
And by reviewing those emails, were you able to confirm that it was in fact this Zachary David Hughes and the John Melo that we're talking about in this case?
Yes, sir.
What was the basis of that?
So when we receive somebody's Google information, we obtain more than just emails. We get account information they provide Google, such as their name, phone numbers, addresses. If they allow Google to back up photos, for example, Mr. Melo in his Google account, I have photos of himself and his daughter that he took that allowed Google to back up.
That Google sent you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Were there any conversations among those emails?
Yes, sir, there were.
And were those conversations between John Melo and Zachary Hughes?
Yes, sir.
And were you able to determine that it was in fact this Zachary Hughes and the John Melo we're talking about in this case?
Yes, sir.
What were they talking about?
Christina Parcell, they were referring to her as Sweet Caroline Warren.
All right, Master Deputy Wolfe, I'm going to show you States Exhibits 166 and 165 and see if you recognize those documents.
Yes, sir, I do.
What is States Exhibit 166?
This is a certification of authenticity from Google verifying the records I obtained were from the Google account zachary.david.hughes@gmail.com.
And you got that email off of Zachary Hughes' phone when you reviewed it?
Yes, sir.
And what about States Exhibit 165?
This is the same document, except this was received when I received John Melo's Google information at john@milestonesound@gmail.com.
And how did you locate that Gmail?
That was through communications that Mr. Hughes was having. They were sharing emails.
Our state moves States 166 and 165 into evidence.
No objection. No objection, 166.
Now, let's back up a little bit. So when you received this information, what information did you receive from Google when you sent off the search warrant for Zachary David Hughes' Gmail and John Melo's email?
So it depends on what what information, what data each individual user allows Google to track. So in this case, emails, it could be pictures, phone contact list backup, location data, Google voice messages, anything along those lines, that any information that Google stores on you.
And then when you get emails, is it just a big stack of emails, or do you have to put them in a computer? How is it given to you, and how are you able to just read emails?
So they give it to you in a file that they call inbox, and then you have to put it into another program called Thunderbird to be able to view the emails.
And did you do that in this case?
Yes, sir, I did.
And as a result of putting it into Thunderbird, were you able to review the emails between Zachary Hughes and John Melo?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you States 167. States Exhibits 167. I'll ask you if you identify that.
Yes, sir. This is an external drive that contains the emails, the raw data I received from
And
Google.
have you reviewed this?
Yes, sir, I have.
Is that your initials?
Yes, sir, it is.
So this is the raw data that you received from Google?
Yes, sir.
State moves Exhibit 167 into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, so thank you, Your Honor. When you get this stuff, did you put this information into Thunderbird?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right. And once you did that, about how many emails do you think you recovered?
For Zachary Hughes, it was a little over 23,000. I don't remember the number for Mr. Melo.
Okay. And then, as part of your duties in this case, did you go through those and sort of create a package of the emails just between John Melo and Zachary Hughes?
Yes, sir, I did.
And between those two, how many emails did you, just between Zach Hughes and John Melo, how many emails do you think you obtained?
Oh, hundreds.
While you were doing that, was there a particular email that brought your attention?
Yes, sir, there was.
show you State's Exhibits 167. I'm sorry, 168. I'm going to ask you if you recognize this.
Yes, sir. This is an email that Mr. Melo sent Mr. Hughes on May 16th of 21.
Your Honor, State moves Exhibit 168 into evidence.
No objection. No objection. 168 comes in.
All right, I'm going to show you the top of this email. And so can you tell, starting with a forward, what this is?
Yes, sir. This email was forwarded from John Melo to Mr. Hughes. The title is Christina Parcell, a.k.a. Sweet Caroline Warren. You can see that the message where it says forwarded messages, the original message came from Mullen Investigations at ProtonMail.com.
All right, as part of your investigation into this, did you look into Mullen Investigations?
Yes, sir, I did.
How did you do that?
So I started with just the basic Google search. I found no private investigative company named Mullen Investigations. And then we contacted SLED. In South Carolina, if you're a private investigator, you have to be registered and licensed through SLED. SLED had no record of a Mullins investigation or a private investigator with the last name Mullins.
And so you you never located Mullen Investigations?
As far as I can tell, they don't exist.
And I noticed that it says at ProtonMail.com.
Yes, sir.
Is that significant?
Yes, sir, it is.
How is that?
ProtonMail is a company that's based in Switzerland, where privacy laws are very different. When you create an account there, they don't ask for any of your personal information. They don't comply with our search warrants. We have no way to get any information from them. They make their business off guaranteeing that you're going to stay anonymous.
So if you wanted to create Walt Wilkins at ProtonMail.com and send emails, would you be able to do that?
Yes, sir.
You would not have to give any of your personal information.
No, sir.
And then you could then represent yourself to be Walt Wilkins at ProtonMail.com.
Yes, sir.
And have y'all attempted to try to get information from ProtonMail.com before?
I have not personally. I know of investigators that have in other cases and federal cases. No.
So I'm going to move forward. So what was this? Was this attached to the email?
Yes, sir, it was.
Okay. And what is this?
This is the same advertisement that investigator Bevel covered that was in the packages, the 6 packages that were mailed out, the escort or prostitution advertisement.
And was there a Bella Dongiorno attached to it?
Yes.
Where's that?
Down at the very bottom.
Right there?
Yes, sir.
And then whose name is over here?
Caroline Warren.
Okay. And is this the same photos that we just saw with Detective Bevel?
Yes, sir.
And did you notice anything about how it's with the photo there? Who was in the photo?
Christina Parcell.
And did you notice anything about how it's cut and pasted?
Yes, sir, I did.
What did you notice?
So first thing I noticed is that the margins are off. The photo of Miss Parcell is too far to the left. And then at the top of the advertisement, you can see where it looks like they cut and pasted it, but they left a couple other, where your finger is. Maybe those were letters or some other part of the web page that they just didn't cut off.
Now, on this email, on May 16th 2021 to Zach Hughes from John Melo. Is that belladonna-escort.site.com on this picture?
No, sir, it is not.
Nowhere to be seen.
No, sir.
So this photo, you can see the top of it of Christina Parcell right there, is just a photo of Christina Parcell.
Correct.
Nothing else on it.
No, sir.
All right, I'm going to show you the second page of State's Exhibits 168. And what is the top up there?
That shows the title of the forwarded email, Christina Parcell, a.k.a. Sweet Caroline Warren, and then that is Christina Parcell's face.
And is this one of the photos that was in the packages that
Yes,
was
sir.
reviewed?
Yes, sir.
And in this particular photo, is the URL belladonna-escort.site.com on there?
No, sir.
It's nowhere to be seen.
No, sir.
And I'll go here, best I can. Is that sent with ProtonMail? Sent with ProtonMail?
Yes, sir.
It's a secure email.
Yes, sir.
And then finally, how is it signed?
So that's John Melo's email signature.
All right, can you go through those for us?
Yes, sir. At the top, he's got an address for Milestone Sound in New York City. He lists himself as a house producer and a vocalist with phone numbers. Then he's got an address in South Carolina and Atlanta, Georgia, Torn and Frayed Productions with a P.O. box here in Greenville. And then he's got addresses in Europe and one down there in Italy. What I will note is that the +39 number that ends in 0041, that is the number he was using to communicate through WhatsApp with Mr. Hughes,
And how do you know that?
through reviewing the WhatsApp messages.
So you reviewed WhatsApp messages off of Zach Hughes' phone?
Yes, sir.
And did you confirm that that number right there was the number used by John Melo?
Yes, sir.
Investigator Wolfe, did you also, let me do this real quick just to make sure the record's clean. I'm going to show you Exhibit 6A marked for identification purposes only, and just get you to confirm that that is one of the photos that was on that email.
Yes, sir, it is.
So 6A was one of the photos on that email.
Yes, sir.
And in this email, is there a http://belladonna-escort.com?
Yes, sir.
And then what about 6D?
That is the first photo in the email.
All right. And does that have a website, belladonna-escort.com?
Yes, sir.
And did you notice the font difference between these two?
Yes, sir.
And those photos were found in numerous of these envelopes, lots of these envelopes.
Yes, sir.
It wasn't just State's Exhibit 6. They were all through the all the envelopes that were received.
That's correct.
All right. Now, did you have the occasion to get Verizon tolls for Zach Hughes' phone?
Yes, sir.
Why did you do that?
I knew that some of these packages had been mailed out from Greenville and others had been mailed out from Tennessee. So I wanted to know where he was on the dates the packages were mailed.
And so how do you go about getting phone records or phone tolls, and why would you get them?
So we get a search warrant and then we get them to know where he was at a particular date and time.
And who do you send the search warrant off to?
It's going to be the service provider for that particular individual.
And did you know the service provider for the phone for Zach Hughes?
I believe it was Verizon.
And how did you learn that?
Once we have a person's phone number, we can just research that phone number. We were able to get his phone number through the phone extraction after it was seized at 200 Tyndall.
And did you send a search warrant off to Verizon for, I guess you call them phone tolls, phone records?
Phone tolls, yes, sir.
Tolls. What is a phone toll?
Phone tolls cover anything from you called this person at this particular time, you received this phone call, you get text messages, your phone transmits data through whatever network. And anytime you're connecting to that tower, they know an approximate location where you're at. Not exactly where you stand, but you are connected to a tower, usually the closest tower that has the best signal.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit. $169. Ask you if you recognize it.
Yes, sir. That's the thumb drive that has Mr. Hughes' cell phone tolls on it.
Your Honor, State moves 169 into evidence.
No objection. Objection, 169 comes up.
Anything else? Now, do you know exactly when John Melo returned back to the United States?
It was shortly after Christina Parcell was murdered. I don't know the exact date, sir.
Do you know where he arrived when he came back?
Charlotte.
And was he arrested?
Yes, sir.
Did he have a warrant on him?
Yes, sir.
What was the warrant?
Custodial interference.
And so he was arrested there. Was he brought back to the law enforcement center?
No, he was kept in custody in Charlotte and then released.
Are you aware if, do you know if John Melo had a cell phone on him when he arrived back from Italy?
We were told by the authorities in North Carolina that he was not found in possession of a cell phone.
And about October 22nd, sound about right?
Sounds about right, sir.
Please answer any questions Mr. Moore may have.
Yes, sir.
Investigator Wolfe, you just testified about the custodial interference warrant that John Melo had.
Yes, sir.
And isn't it true he was exonerated of that charge in Nigeria?
Yes, sir, it is.
You've asked a lot of questions about the websites in the mail on direct examination. Isn't it true that when that website was actually up, you didn't see that website? Is that right?
That's correct.
And so it is it's very possible that when that was up, that website had, is it true that it's possible that website had photographs of Christina Parcell in the nude on it? Isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
And isn't it true that that website was a vehicle for advertising prostitution? Isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it true that people engaged in illegal activity online often use aliases?
Yes, sir.
Nothing else, Your Honor.
Quick question, Your Honor. You can't say one way or the other whether that website was actually active or not.
No, sir, I can't. It was August of 2023 when I became involved in that case.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
is a wonderful time to take a break. Again, I will just remind you